Look up at the night sky tonight. It looks, perfectly serene, doesn't it? Like this silent, majestic tapestry that feels predictable, mathematically sound, and most importantly, safe. But in this explainer of the strange and the hidden, I really have to warn you, that comforting assumption, it's completely false. The cosmos is not just a quiet backdrop to our lives. It is a highly active, unimaginably violent arena. And what we are about to uncover today is going to completely shatter your perception of our place in the dark.
I want you to hold on to this question as we move forward. What if everything we know is wrong? I want you to treat every single fact we cover today not just as dry astronomical data, but as a terrifying clue in a much, much larger mystery. We are peeling back the cosmic curtain, and the reality we're finding underneath is far darker and far more precarious than it seems.
Think about that quote for a second. It perfectly captures our true standing in the cosmos. We build our cities, we argue over our daily problems, we plan for the future, right? All while completely ignoring the fact that humanity exists entirely at the mercy of forces we can barely comprehend, let alone control. So let's begin our investigation by looking right next door.
Section 1. The Illusion of Safety. The Hidden Threats in Our Local Cosmic Neighborhood.
See, we don't even need to look deep into the void to find forces capable of resetting human history. Our very own sun harbors a destructive capability that we honestly just prefer to ignore. Back in 774 CE, a superflare struck Earth with 20 times the power of anything in modern records. In 1859, the famous Carrington event literally set telegraph papers on fire. But the real shocker? In 2012, a civilization-ending flare released the energy of billions of megaton bombs, and it missed Earth's orbit by just 1 week. If it had hit us, we would have been plunged into a pre-electrical dark age with only hours of warning. But the mystery gets even stranger when we look at what else is hiding in our own neighborhood.
I want you to imagine an invisible predator silently stalking our galaxy at 1.5 million kilometers per hour. This isn't science fiction, folks. In 2022, astronomers discovered this terrifying phenomenon entirely by chance. They only noticed it because its immense gravity warped and bent the light of a distant star behind it. We call them rogue black holes. Basically, when certain massive stars die in asymmetrical explosions, the resulting black hole gets violently kicked out of its host galaxy, left to just wander the cosmos. And here is the deeply unsettling detail. Astronomers estimate there are up to 100 million of these gravitational monsters silently drifting through our Milky Way right now, invisible, unpredictable, and moving incredibly fast. Which brings us to Section 2, Weapons of Cosmic Erasure, Forces Capable of Resetting Biological Clocks.
We're stepping into the realm of phenomena that don't just disrupt things, they completely erase them. Back in the 1960s, U.S. military satellites were built to look for the telltale flashes of illicit nuclear explosions down here on Earth. But what scientists discovered next shocked absolutely everyone. These satellites picked up blinding flashes of unimaginable energy coming from deep space. Flashes that, just for a few seconds, completely outshine the rest of the visible universe combined.
These are gamma-ray bursts, or GRBs. They're essentially the violent birth cries of new black holes. And the implications of these things are terrifying. Recently, astronomers detected an explosion 2.4 billion light-years away that was still powerful enough to disrupt Earth's ionosphere. If a GRB occurred within 3,000 light-years of us, it would instantly destroy Earth's ozone layer. In fact, paleontology hints that one of these bursts might have actually triggered the Ordovician mass extinction 440 million years ago, wiping out 85% of marine life. It literally resets the biological clock. And this kind of erasure, it happens on a macro scale too. If you look up, you're looking at an ongoing cosmic crime scene. Astronomers have tracked massive stellar streams across our sky, these literal rivers of stars with distinct chemical compositions that clearly do not belong to our Milky Way. They are the scattered remnants of destroyed alien ecosystems.
This is the result of what we call galactic cannibalism. Our own Milky Way is an active predator. Right now, it's tearing apart and devouring the Sagittarius dwarf galaxy. Our cosmic home is literally built from the corpses of countless other galaxies, and this process isn't over by a long shot. In 4.5 billion years, our galaxy will collide head-on with Andromeda, and the Milky Way as we know it will be violently, completely erased.
Now, Section 3, where reality breaks down, anomalies defying the laws of physics.
As if cosmic erasure wasn't unsettling enough,
We are now finding objects that mathematically and fundamentally should not exist at all. In 2013, we found the impossible. Observing a supernova out in the NGC 39 galaxy, astronomers witnessed a massive thermonuclear explosion. Now, that's an event that is supposed to completely obliterate a star. Gone. Done. Yet, when the dust cleared, a stubborn portion of the star remained entirely intact. It somehow survived its own terminal event.
These are known as Type IX supernovae, but they're more commonly called zombie stars. They are functional, living corpses of stars. And what's even more disturbing is that this isn't just some freak one-off occurrence. Scientists now suspect up to 30% of what we previously thought were normal supernovas might actually be these partial explosions. The universe, it seems, has found a horrifying way to cheat fundamental cosmic mortality. But this raises an even bigger question about the structure of reality itself. Because this defies reality on a macroscopic level too. Let's look at an architectural mystery. In 1981, astronomer Robert Kirshner was mapping the distant universe. In one specific region of space, his statistical models dictated there should be roughly 10,000 galaxies, but Kirshner found fewer than 60. The math was utterly broken. This stark discrepancy is a chilling clue that something has systematically cleared away the matter in this region.
And the sheer scale of this anomaly? It is paralyzing. We're talking about an almost perfectly spherical region of absolute nothingness that is 330 million light-years across. It fundamentally breaks the natural, honeycomb-like structure of the cosmos.
We call it the Boötes Void. It's so impossibly empty and perfectly shaped that standard natural explanations completely fall apart. It really forces us to ask, what unimaginable force scoured 330 million light-years of space completely clean?
Section 4. The invisible forces pulling us. The terrifying pull at the edge of existence.
See, while we're down here worrying about solar flares and empty voids, our entire existence is being dragged into the unknown. 14 million miles per hour. That is the astonishing speed at which the Milky Way, along with hundreds of thousands of other galaxies, is currently hurtling through space. We're not just expanding outwards, we are being inexorably pulled, forcibly dragged toward a single point 150 million light-years away. We are trapped in a literal flow towards something astronomers call the Great Attractor. And what makes this purely terrifying is that it's located in the zone of avoidance. That's a region completely obscured by the thick dust and gas of our own galaxy. It's as if something enormously heavy is hiding just behind a cosmic curtain. We can't see it, but we can feel it pulling us into the dark.
And then, in 2008, the math broke entirely. Astrophysicist Alexander Kishlinsky discovered something called the dark flow. Hundreds of massive galaxy clusters, all moving uniformly at speeds up to 1,000 kilometers per second toward the constellations of Centaurus and Hydra. This entirely violates our understanding of how the universe is supposed to expand. Matter on this massive scale is supposed to be uniform, yet something is tugging all of these clusters in one specific direction.
And here is the absolute crux of our dread. To generate a pull that massive, a pull affecting hundreds of entire galaxy clusters, the source of gravity must lie outside our observable universe. Something larger than our universe, or perhaps a completely adjacent universe, is literally reaching its invisible hands across the cosmic horizon, and it's pulling on everything we can see.
Our entire observable universe might be merely a tiny bubble in something vastly larger. Think about the philosophical dread of that for a moment. Every single law of physics we hold dear might just be a localized anomaly, a set of insignificant bylaws operating entirely at the whim of an unfathomable grand structure.
We are trapped. We're hurtling blindly at millions of miles an hour toward a destination we cannot even see, pulled by forces we absolutely cannot comprehend. So as we wrap up this explainer, I have to leave you with this one thought. What awaits us when we finally reach the dark?